Hey guys, I am back again, 2 days straight here. It's amazing. It means I'm feeling a lot better than I have been, and it's going to be totally worth it because you guys are about to see an episode that's going to blow you away. Thank you for joining me on this kind of disgusting Sunday outside here in New York, but either way, today's episode is going to be about Antarctica and all the evidence that is mounting up that the secret space programs are going to be disclosed, and I am so excited to do this episode, and I am really excited to show you guys what I have found. So we're just going to stick to that one topic today. It's going to be more than enough to fill up an entire episode. So thank you guys for all the support. Again, thank you for the prayers and all the positive vibes that you guys have been sending me and to my family. We are slowly getting better. So let's do the house cleaning first. As always, go to my YouTube channel here, subscribe, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Tell your friends and family about the channel and get the word out there. The thing that I've been promoting more now is my Patreon. You guys can see here, I've already gotten 3 just from yesterday. They're donating. You guys can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Whatever you guys can give, you are supporting independent media, you're supporting this channel, and you're helping it grow. That is completely up to you. This Patreon here is going to be, it's going to be my gem. I love the YouTube, but the Patreon is going to be where I'm still creating it. I cleaned it up a little bit this morning, but this is going to be where I'm going to be really able to connect with the fan base that really want to hang out with me. We're going to be doing live shows together. I have so many things planned for the Patreon. So I wanted to promote this more than anything and the YouTube right now. So if you guys want to become a Patreon, you guys can do that right here. I'm going to put all these links in below. In case that doesn't work, go to my BitChute. I have everything here on my BitChute as a backup channel. And of course, here is my beautiful webpage, wokesocieties.com, with the podcast links here, where you can subscribe to all the major podcasting platforms and to my audio files as well there. So you guys have no excuses. Go and get that content. So now that we covered the basics, I want to get into the article that is going to be about today's episode. And the title of this article, it's a doozy. And when I saw this, it immediately caught my attention. So the name of this article is by a man named Benjamin Fulford. And the name of the title of his article is Antarctica is under lockdown as secret space program unveiling begins. And when I saw this, I'm like, I have to read this, obviously. And when you know it, Dr. Michael Salla caught wind of this as well, and he also wrote his own article on this article as well. So if it's got Dr. Michael Salla's attention and he's writing about it, it's definitely worth noting. So I want to jump into this article, and I want to show you guys what it entails. So let's start here. And this is, what is this? IntelDynarChronicles.blogspot.com. That is the name of the web address. Again, I'm going to link all this in the description below for you guys, so you can look at all the references and all the sources as well. So the article begins. An unusual flurry of events and press announcements makes it clear the U.S. government is unveiling its secret space program. Multiple sources agree. We are also hearing of a Chinese secret space program, a Nazi secret space program, and a Russian secret space program. Now, don't be alarmed, guys, when you see Nazi secret space program. All this means is hopefully it's not, I just think it means German secret space program, but if you guys know anything about the space programs, they've been around for decades. So they're just more advanced now. That's pretty much all it is. All these revelations are being accompanied by unusual movements of gold and other financial anomalies. The recent trade agreement between the U.S. and China is also linked to these secret space programs. Chinese and Pentagon sources agree. These are all signs that some sort of mind-boggling planetary event may be coming. And don't forget about that solar flash event, guys. There's a lot of events and things being talked about that seem to coincide together. Typically, this writer does not tread lightly into the UFO world and believes extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. However, such proof is now undeniable. The biggest evidence is a series of public announcements made by multiple government officials, including U.S. President Donald Trump. The official launching of a U.S. Space Force by Trump is just the start of a gradual process of disclosure, Pentagon officials say. And this is what me and a bunch of others have been saying for a long time, guys. Everyone's asking, well, if all these UFOs are out there and all this technology is out there, why isn't it out there for the masses to use? Well, it's a great question. They can't just dump all these things on us all at once. People will have too many questions. People will freak out. They won't know what to do. So they're saying right here by the Pentagon, I'm going to bring up the article in just a moment, the Space Force, which as you can clearly see I'm representing right now on my awesome shirt, the Space Force is going to be the bridge between the private sector and these black projects and the mass public. It's going to be that bridge for disclosure, that connection. So the Space Force is going to envelope all these corporations that have been secretly dealing with these technologies and pretty much having free reign about whoever to deal with, the Russians, the Chinese, whoever they want. They pretty much had free reign to do whatever they please. But now the Space Force is going to pretty much envelope over all that and take control over that. And they're going to have oversight of all these technologies. And it's going to be a way for a government entity to usher in the proper disclosure for us. So if we go to Defense News here, we're not going to get into the article, but just it says defense policy deal creates Space Force sidesteps border wall controversy. And it's just super interesting. And as the article continues, the media is now being filled with stories about UFOs and secret U.S. military technology as part of this process. As we have previously reported, the U.S. Navy has released patents for anti-gravity flying saucers and compact nuclear fusion. Now we have recently retired Air Force general talking about already existing technology that can take us from one part of the planet to any other part within an hour. So I just want to get very, very real with people right now, because I get a lot of comments whenever I talk about aliens, UFOs, the space technology. A lot of people saying this is demonic technology. That mindset and that thinking has no basis of fact or research whatsoever. And I'm not trying to put anybody down, but it's not logical thinking anymore. And it's just honestly ticking me off at this point. I don't comment negatively in the comments of my own YouTube videos, and I'm trying to be as nice as I can right now, because right now there is proof that this technology is real and it's operable. And the only place that we got it from, and this is on record from hundreds, thousands of whistleblowers, that this technology was taken from re-engineered down spacecraft. This isn't some movie anymore. This isn't some made up BS. There are patents that are out there now, and there is real technology. This stuff's been built. It's real. And if you guys don't remember, I'm going to bring you back down memory lane just for a real quick moment here. I covered these articles back in the summer. This is on exopolitics.org. And this is one of the articles. U.S. Navy regards electromagnetic propulsion and Tesla shield patents as operable. And here's a picture of the patent right here. And wouldn't you know, it's a triangular ship. Microwave emitters, high-frequency EMF waves, resonant cavity inner wall, outside mold line skin. They have the breakdown of the operations of this technology right here. They have the patent numbers. All this stuff can be found. It is real. And it's just you think it's just a coincidence that it's a triangle? No, not at all. Not at all. And just to bring you back one more thing, I think this is the same exact thing. Yep. The man that created this technology, let me just bring myself down here. His name is Salvatore Pais. And now this is the only picture that I could find of this man that exists anywhere. He worked for, I believe he does work for the Navy. Whatever he did, he made this technology. And he also created a 0-point energy device that powers these technologies. And you can see him right here. All this energy coming to a point. These are just some screenshots from the patents. And this is another one here. Oops, don't want to do that. Okay, we're fine. It's small here, but it's the triangular ship. It's the same one I just showed you guys before. And I just want to show something to you guys real quick. This guy's name is Salvatore Paez. And I didn't find this out on my own. I came across it on a messaging board. The name Salvatore Paez means savior of our nation. Now, do you think that's a coincidence that a man that has that name, who also happens to work for the Navy, who we all know the Navy has had these technologies for a very long time, and this man created not only a operational anti-gravity craft, but also the 0-point energy device that powers this craft as well. And if he can make a generator pretty much that generates energy for this craft, what do you think that a 0-point energy device can be used for just regular people like me and you to power houses, whole cities, running on basically nothing? It generates power on its own. It's its own power source. It needs no input. This stuff is real, guys. I can't get that across to you enough right now. So these are the patents that they're talking about. So let's go back to the article here. So the media is now being filled with stories of UFOs and secret U.S. military technology as part of this process. As we have previously reported, the U.S. Navy has released patents for the anti-gravity, flying saucers, and compact nuclear fusion. Now we have recently retired Air Force general talking about already existing technology that can take us from one part of the planet to any other part within an hour. And let's take a look at this guy right here. His name is Stephen Quast. And according to official U.S. Air Force biography, Lieutenant General Quast graduated from the United States Air Force Academy with a degree in astronautical engineering and also holds a master's degree in public policy from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. Quast previously served as commander of the 47th Operations Group at Laughlin Air Force Base and the 4th Fighter Wing at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Quast boasts more than 3,300 flight hours in the F-15E, T-6, T-37, and T-38, and over 650 combat hours. So the man clearly has a resume. Look at all those ribbons right there. That's crazy. But I just want to get into this quote here, and some of the quotes he has, and his speech is here, talking about the urgent need for a space force. I'm not going to play any of it. It's a long speech, but I'm going to link this there for you guys so you can watch it if you want for yourselves. So he says here, space is the Navy for the 21st century economy, a networked economy that will dominate any linear terrestrial economy in the 4 engines of growth and dominance that change world power: transportation, information, energy, and manufacturing. Whoever gets the new market sets the values for that market. And we could either have the market with the values of our Constitution, or we could have the values we see manifest in China. And we know that is not an option. And as we scroll down here, he says the technology to do all these things that we want to do already exists and is on the engineering benches today. But most Americans and most members of Congress have not had time to really look deeply at what is going on here. But I've had the benefit of 33 years of studying and becoming friends with these scientists. This technology can be built today with technology that is not in developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour. Let me just say that again. This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour. And he didn't say where, guys. Is he talking about anti-gravity? Is he talking about stargates? He could be talking about all that. I'm sure he knows about all that stuff. It already exists. It just hasn't been shown to the public yet. Quast's comment is only one of several curious comments made by military leadership lately, and they do seem to claim that we would be on the precipice of a great leap in transportation technology. Amazing stuff. So let's go back here. Representative Mike Rogers of Alabama and Air Force Secretary Barbara Barrett both called publicly this month for the declassification of a large amount of information about America's military space programs. And I showed you guys this article maybe a few weeks ago, and she's talking about that a lot of the space programs, a lot of the information is overwhelmingly classified, which means she is saying a lot of it can be declassified. She's not saying all of it, but a lot of it can be declassified. And just, I can tell you right now, the stuff that they would declassify would be more than enough for us to get to start with, at least, to get us, the public, on the right track, to getting our minds ready for a huge shift in technology and a huge shift in our evolution in general as humans. So I'm just hitting these articles real quick for you guys because the main one is back here. So I'm just building this up for an obvious reason. So we're talking about declassification of military space programs. The $21 trillion missing from the U.S. government budget since 1998, has documented by Catherine Austin Fitts and others, was spent on the secret space programs. That was years ago. Pentagon officials have confirmed this. Before, they were lying about it. They just said it disappeared. Much of this technology is now being released to the general public, they say. And this article here shows the breakdown of where that money goes. We're not going to get into that now, but I will give you guys the links for all these articles. We are also getting far more UFO sightings around the world that are being recorded on high-quality video. If you get into the habit of looking at the sky as I have, it won't be long before you can see for yourself with your own naked eyes. And now that the Antarctic summer has begun, we are again getting multiple reports of strange goings-on there, too. On December 10th, a Chilean military plane carrying 38 people vanished in good weather on its way to Antarctica. So this gets really interesting here. Let me pull this article up here. Not that one. Right here. So I remember seeing this come across my phone, and anything related to Antarctica, I get really excited. It's just our Antarctica is on such lockdown. There's no good, really good sources or anything that you can really lock anything solid to. So this just happened December 10th, about 20 days ago. Chilean plane en route to Antarctica disappears with 38 on board. A military plane with 38 people on board had disappeared en route to Antarctica, Chile's Air Force says. The C-130 Hercules transport aircraft took off from Punta Arenas at 16:55 local time. Those missing include 17 crew and 21 passengers. They were traveling to provide logistical support to a military base on Antarctica's King George Island. A search and rescue mission is underway. So they just disappeared. And I'm going to show you guys something interesting. We're going to go back to that in just a moment. But I'm going to be showing you conflicting reports between mainstream articles and what this article is saying. And we all know we have to keep our eyes and ears open when it comes to reading anything mainstream, right? So let's see what the article says about what happened. A senior CIA officer and relative of Admiral Richard Byrd of Antarctic exploration fame told us. And if you guys don't know Admiral Richard Byrd, look him up real quick. He was probably one of the biggest pioneers, in the first ones to go to Antarctica. He was a naval officer. He did a bunch of amazing things. And for all my researchers out there that don't know about this operation, check out Operation High Jump. It's not relative to this. It is and it isn't, but it's for a separate day. But check it out. It'll blow your mind. So this is what the relative of this, he's a senior CIA officer and relative of Admiral Richard Byrd of Antarctic exploration fame told us. The Chilean military were ordered by their controllers not to go near Antarctica. Remember the BBC article said they were there to go to aid logistics for a military base. But here they says they were told not to go near Antarctica. They thought they were smarter and knew more than their masters. The C-130 has been removed. It wasn't who was on the plane. It was what they were carrying that resulted in the disappearance. At this stage, there are no entries and exits taking place on Antarctica. The southernmost continent is on lockdown until further notice, not due to this incident. And this is according to the CIA officer. A member of the Cobra Resistance who has recently returned from Antarctica provided us with this photograph below. And I'm going to try to blow it up so you guys can see it here. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Supposedly, in this picture here, this is supposedly here. It looks just like a cloud, but they're saying this is some kind of alien ship that's cloaked in some kind of cloud like camouflage. But you know, it's disputable. There's no way to prove it right or wrong, right? But what I really want you guys to look at is this coastline down here. You can see my mouse. This looks like there are buildings, large buildings, and whatever's going on there is a huge operation. And I can tell you right now, they're probably not there studying polar bears. You know, it looks big. It looks big. And the more that this ice melts, the more that it's going to be revealed that there's ancient alien bases here. There's ancient frozen ET races down there. They've been here for millennia. And as the ice melts, more of it's going to get revealed. And you can't hide it forever. People are going to see it at some point. But it's just super interesting. So that was a blown up vision of that picture. So they claim it is a photograph of, again, here it is, of a cloud ship or a large alien vessel using cloud type camouflage. However, what interests us more is the faint picture of what looks like large buildings on a distant coastline, which I just showed you guys. Many Russian and American scientists have been killed in Antarctica, says a senior P2 Freemason source, citing Russians' FSB and CIA reports. I know for sure there are ancient alien bases, he adds. This is why Antarctica is closed off, he says. This is the person who told us in advance that the P2 were going to fire Pope Benedict. He was also found once by the CIA near the BIS with a gun and a sophisticated lock-picking device. The source also says the earthquake recorded last week at Mindanao in the Philippines was caused by an attack on a hostile underground military base. So let's just get into some of the nitty-gritty of the overall picture besides just the space programs of why this is the timing of everything going on right now with Antarctica, the Space Force, and let's just look at some financial stuff going on as well. Now, the article continues. It says, now to segue back to the here/now geopolitics that this newsletter usually focuses on, let us see how the secret space program ties into the recent U.S.-China partial trade deal. Asian secret society leaders have long told us they have wanted the U.S. to reveal its secret space program to them. This was agreed to at the recent U.S.-China trade talks, they said. That's why the details of the agreement have not yet been made public, which made sense because we keep hearing these little deals with me, but what exactly is being done? We don't know. So this would make sense. What has been made public indicates that China has offered to buy an extra $200 billion worth of goods from the U.S. every year. Economists have been scratching their heads over this because the official U.S. economy does not have the capacity to export that much. However, secret space technology is included, which it probably could easily get over $200 million. Let's see, I lost my place here. Economists have been scratching their heads. The U.S. economy does not have the capacity. However, if the secret space technology is included in that picture, then everything makes sense. It absolutely does. The U.S. is also now going to wind down its germ warfare against Chinese agriculture as part of the deal, CIA sources have said. The story at the link below, trying to blame Chinese gangsters for drones caught dropping swine fever into pig farms, is almost certainly a CIA attempt to divert the blame for these attacks. The other thing that has been going on this week is continued strange movements in the financial markets. A CIA source in the Southeast Asia tells us Indonesia has suddenly announced a $40 billion infrastructure project that says is a payoff of the government for giving the Rothschilds access to some of their gold. Goldman Sachs provides partial confirmation of this by reporting that 1,200 tons or 57 billion of unexplained gold flows have been spotted recently. And also, according to Zero Hedge, a Fed economist, Ruth Judson, wrote in 2017 that about 60% of all U.S. currency and about 75% of $100 bills had left the country by the end of 2016 for a total of about $900 billion in U.S. dollars kept overseas. The number is now over $1 trillion as the world's rich hoard cash in a fight against negative interest rates. And this all ties into a growing market consensus that it'll be impossible to keep the current U.S. stock market bubble going on much longer. When mainstream publications like the Wall Street Journal start saying corporations are cooking their books to make profits look bigger than they are, you know the end is near. I don't know. I'm not a big economist. I don't know too much about how all that works. Right now, from what I know, is that the economy is doing very well here. So you may not agree with everything in this article. I'm not sure about that part because the economy looks very good right now, but you never know. So the FRB's announcement they were going to pump $500 billion into financial markets in the coming days is another sign that it is not business as usual in the financial markets. P2 Freemason sources say the money is being pumped into the repo market in response to a proxy war that is pitting the Germans, JP Morgan, and Deutsche Bank against the Rothschilds, Goldman Sachs, and Trump. So it sounds like the old guard is fighting for their lives. That's essentially what it comes down to, guys. This old guard that we have been living under for centuries it's in chaos right now. That we all know the deep state's in chaos. This is all part of it. And according to this report, his sources, this is what's going on right now. So as we continue, also now that the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has won an overwhelming mandate to leave the German EU, it's time for a new deal for Europe. Agree P2 Freemason and British intelligence sources. They say a fundamental agreement has been reached to have Europe run by a triumvirate of Germany, Russia, and the UK. British intelligence are also saying the constant impeachment and Russian meddling attacks against Trump were waged by a certain UK faction. This campaign is now being wound down. They say this means the attacks on Russia and on Trump are going to be stopped, they said. Amazing. Again, right here, British intelligence are also saying that the constant impeachment and Russian meddling attack against Trump were waged by a certain UK faction. And what did I just talk about yesterday, guys? The woman that Trump appointed, the senior advisor, she was in the UK when this was going on, and she's working with Durham right now. You see how this is all lining up. Amazing. This means the attacks on Russia and on Trump are going to be stopped, and we know that's coming. You see how this is all perfectly tying together. Our Pentagon source close to Trump had the following to report this week. Trump may have to invade Mexico, not just to fight the CIA drug cartels, but to keep lithium and other resources out of Chinese hands. Also, backlash against Boeing continues as China finally questions the safety of the 737 MAX, paving the way for a global ban on the flying coffins, while the Department of Defense blocked Boeing from the $85 billion ICBM replacement contract. And the source further noted the 90% Christian majority is flexing its conservative muscles against accused Jay, with the Hallmark Channel banning lesbians ads in Brazil, outrage over a Netflix portrait of a gay Jesus in the first Temptation of Christ. On a final note, we can confirm that a meeting is being arranged possibly for mid-January between the British Commonwealth, the P2 Freemasons, the Pentagon, and Asian secret societies to discuss the establishment of a world planning agency with an annual budget of $1 trillion. The establishment of this agency, a jubilee disclosure of the secret space program, and a financial reset are going to be discussed at this meeting, which P2 British and Asian sources all agree about. So guys, do you see the significance of what is going on here? We have, looks like planes here being decommissioned. So if we don't have planes to get around, what are we going to be using? Maybe when we find out about this anti-gravity tech, maybe we won't need planes or cars or anything that's required with fossil fuels. Maybe not. Wouldn't that be crazy? And we're talking about a disclosure of a secret space program and a financial reset are going to be discussed. So many things of what Q has been dropping over the past years, things that channels like mine and many others have been talking about. This right here, this one article, this quick article, ties that all together and what's going on right now. So this should be very encouraging to you guys, for the ones that believe this stuff is really the truth and this is what's going on, because I certainly do. So let me just look here real quick. I wanted to, yeah. Oh, just going back to that Antarctica story with the Chilean, with the ship that, the plane that went down, right? So we remember the article said the plane was supposed to go to Antarctica, and the wreckage wasn't found. Now, this one here says human remains were found the wreckage, and it gives a spot of where this stuff happened. So there are conflicting reports between of what this article says and what these. This is the Guardian. Yeah. Excuse me. This is the Guardian, guys. So who knows if they're believable or not? But still, do you think they could be fine for all we know? Who knows? I have no idea, but there's conflicting reports, so it's who do you believe? So we're just going to finish this up. I want you guys to read this real quick. Why would you... This is a tweet from Jordan Sather. I just want to read this to open people's perspective. So he writes, why would you even want to live in a reality where all life from outside of our Earth are interdimensional demons? Not only is that devoid of logic and the evidence at hand, but that's morbid AF. So I am reading that because, again, I have been getting inundated with comments from people that believe certain views, and you are more than entitled to believe your certain views. My problem right now is that it's being pushed on myself and others, and I'm not okay with that. That is what I'm getting at. There are things that are happening that you may not believe in, that might challenge your faith, that might challenge your reality, and that's okay. But to drop comments and say things and say you need to follow a certain way to the truth, it's divisive. It's divisive. And it's not going to get humanity anywhere. So it's time to wake up. And we're going to leave it at that. So guys, that is where I want to leave this today. I want you guys to leave in the comments what you think of this article. I'm going to leave the links, all the links here in the description below. And I want to know what you guys think. This is exciting times. We are just around the corner from 2020, guys, and it's going to be a banger of a year. And I seriously cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for joining in the podcast if you're listening there. Again, go to my YouTube channel right here at Woke Societies. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends and family. Go to my Patreon if you are that awesome, amazing soul that wants to donate even $1 to become a patron. That would be wonderful. You're supporting independent media and you're supporting this channel, and it's only going to make this channel grow and get better and better. And if you don't want to do that, you guys hate big tech, go to my BitChute. You guys can go there and look at my the videos there. And also, if you guys want to know where you can go to find my podcasting platforms, they're all right here on my website. So with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week. I have to see I don't know what's going to be in store for the rest of this week. Q dropped a bunch more drops. So we'll see what happens. It's been one hell of a Christmas for me, that's for sure. So if I don't see you guys by the new year, have a happy new year. I want to do an episode kind of like a recap of what this year has brought us, but we'll see. But until then, stay woke.